if these bombings continued, it will be seen as an act of aggression. A grim prediction from the Prime Minister of Spain. He says his country will remain in a recession and unemployment is likely to grow. Spain is asking the Eurozone for billions of dollars to help save its tanking economy. Spain could get as much as $125 billion in bailout funds. So why should we care about Spain's financial troubles when we've got enough money problems of our own? Financial experts Gene Marks and Elliot Miller are here to break it all down for us. Thanks, Gene and Elliot. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
All right, well, first, what impact do these financial meltdowns and bailouts around the world have to do with us? Gene, you first.
Well, Joyce, I mean, look, Europeans buy billions of dollars of American goods every year, and American banks have billions of dollars invested in Europe. So when Europe is having problems, America is having problems. That's why we should be interested.
Elliot?
Yeah, you know, the world's interconnected. We think our unemployment problems are terrible here, and they are at 8.2%. Spain is close to 25%, and that just isn't feasible for the long term.
Okay, let's talk United States. Should the Fed intervene? We hear a lot of back and forth about that, and if the Fed does, do exactly what?
You know, Joyce, if I could say, and I think, Elliot, both you and I kind of agree on this. I mean, the Fed has done so much already to try and stimulate the economy. I mean, right now, the Fed's balance sheet is at $3 trillion. That's money that's out there available for banks to lend, and interest rates are really low as it is. So, you know, when you look at what the Fed's done already, there's not a whole lot more they can do, and I myself just feel very, very strongly that more stimulus is not going to help.
Yeah, I agree. There's not much more they can do. The rates are as low as they've ever been. There's the promise that they're going to stay there till the end of 2014. Mortgage rates are near record lows, and houses are as affordable as they've been since the early 80s. So there really just isn't much more they can do. However, that doesn't leave our elected people off the hook. There's a Jobs Act that's been languishing since last fall, which could put police and firefighters and teachers back to work. These jobs can't be outsourced. And you know, they're great jobs, and we do need that. The other thing is there's a transportation bill, which is usually a formality, but now it's hung up in Congress. So they really need to act.
But what can they really do here, guys? It's hard to separate the politics from what's really practical or possible. What do they need to do for the good of the country?
Well, they need to pass those bills. I mean, if they can't legislate, then they should just go home and give the money back. There's just a lot that they can do at this point that they really haven't been able to get together with.
Gene? And Elliot, I'm not that big a fan of some of those bills. I mean, the Job Act, for example, is one where, you know, the government is going to be offering rebates and incentives for employers to hire people. I mean,
that's
my company, I've had 10 employees, and I've had 10 employees for the past 5 years, and I don't really need rebates or incentives to hire more people. I just need more growth. And right now, I'm not seeing that. So no matter what is included in the Jobs Act, that's really not going to make me go out and bring more people into my company.
Well, you know, the president there's a lot of debate over this. The president saying business is doing just fine. Then he had to walk it back, as you know. Was he wrong? Gene, you go first.
You know, I mean, when he talks about the economy doing just fine, I mean, we're only growing at 1.9%. I mean, China was all bummed out because their GDP growth was lowered from like 10% down to 7%. I mean, we are way behind what a lot of other areas of the world are growing right now. So when he's saying the economy is doing just fine, it's really not. You know, a lot of people argue that the government economy is doing fine. The private sector is still very stagnant.
Well, I say that if I limit it to big business, and you know, Joyce, I'm a numbers guy. So with big business, what we're talking about is record profits, which have been going up every quarter for the last 11 quarters. We're talking about cash flows. There's now $2 trillion sitting in corporate coffers. So I think if you isolate it to big business, and it's not quite the same for small business, which Gene would agree with, then I think he really was right.
Well, I got to ask this, and it's really quick, guys. Whoever's right or wrong, most people feel like we're collateral damage in a political war.
I definitely think that's the truth. There's just so much infighting. I keep hearing nothing will happen for the next 5 months. Again, if nothing's going to happen, they wouldn't accept that from you as a worker or me as a worker. Why are they still there then?
Last word, Gene.
Joyce, I've got to be more optimistic than that and say that Congress will come together and our president will come together to figure out how to reduce our national debt and get their budget in order. So I'm going to be optimistic, okay?
Let's hope so. We really do. Gene Marks, Elliot Miller, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you for your insight.
Thanks.
Well, we want you to join the conversation as well. Tweet us your thoughts about the economy.